Hey, teacher blabbers, welcome to the show this week. Happy Thursday here in July. Blab-ettes and blab dudes, all the teacher rock stars out there. I don't know about y'all, but are y'all tired?
Exhausted.
I tried to take a little nap, and then I started thinking about something else to do. But yes, a nap would have been great.
I'm so exhausted. It has been.
Me too.
Yes, absolutely. Well, if you are joining us here live on Facebook or YouTube, be sure and drop in the comments where you're tuning in from, what grade level you teach. If you are one of our OGs, welcome back to the OGs in the house.
I'm weak.
Carlanda gets a kick out of me. Let me jump over here to the comments. Ladies, how has your week been? We'll start with Misty. Misty, how you feeling?
Feeling better. I'm so sorry about last week, y'all. It's my fault that I went in the sun, but I thought if I just doubled up on some Excedrin before I went, I'd be okay. But so I'm sorry about that. And I missed the seesaw. I'm so upset. That's one of the ones. Like Rochelle and I have been talking about seesaw, so I was so excited. So anyway, we just had to get some changes in the district just because we have to keep the static group, so we're changing up some stuff and how we're teaching, and we're not going to be, some of us won't be departmentalized. So anyway, besides that, I'm better.
Good. We're super glad. Super happy you're back. I just so I can make sure, I did not realize until I just did a bunch of lives last week and live trainings last week, but apparently Facebook is now adding automatic captions to your Facebook lives. It's not something that I realized was happening. So when you watch this back, Carlanda, I'm going to say it right there. It made your name Carla. I don't know why your name is Carla.
Because my mom's name is Carla.
I was watching it and I was like, who's Carla? I was like, oh, that was when I said Carlanda.
Disrespectful. Come on, Facebook.
Come on. Rochelle, how's your week?
Just making cups and trying to eat.
Making cups and trying to eat. Well, I know my cup is on its way. I'm super excited about getting that. Listen, what are you drinking, Carlanda? Oh,
that's cute.
Miss Adele.
I love it.
My newest cleanup right now that I'm finishing. It's all
cute.
I like the colors.
How do I order? I'm just so upset that you have another cup you're working on. It's not mine. I don't understand.
This one going.
Oh.
How do I order my cup? Tell the people. I need that one.
Michelle, you are talented. That's awesome.
A whole set of crayons for my team. Like, we all got crayons, and I'm going to give them as a gift. Like,
you're addicted.
Might as well make a cup since I can't eat. So do something with extra time.
That's right.
Is my mic on? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh. How do I order a cup? I'm just making sure she can hear me. How do I order this cup?
I don't think she heard you the first time.
No,
okay. I'm like, you don't want this money or no?
No, I got it. I got an Instagram for my cups now. Well, I mean, this was my inspiration cup, but I have an Instagram now.
Well, drop your Instagram so she can order her name
got it.
I don't know how.
Oh, you
can't.
You can't. I can. So if you send it in the, if you put it in the private chat, I'll add it to the show. Though, if you put it in the private chat, Miss Julie, how was your week?
It's stressful.
Ooh, what's going on?
Well, I had to have some repairs made to a bathroom sink that was going drippy, drippy, drippy. And I have a little kitty. I call her my little kitty, although she's 7 years old like her sister. But she doesn't deal too well with outsiders in my house. And she decided not to use her litter box and instead used a throw in my spare bedroom.
And
Oh
that's
no.
the worst thing. I remember Julie
And she's acting funny. So, I mean, I don't know if it's just from that or if she's got a urinary infection or what. And her doing that has already caused me to have to rip up carpet and put in new flooring in one room in the last year and a half. I can't do that again right now. And then just, in general, all of the school stressy whatevers. And it's just, because things still are kind of up in the air here. I mean, we've got more school districts here in Louisiana now coming out saying, hey, we're going half virtual, half in, or all virtuals. And right now we're going all face-to-face. And I'm like,
no virtual at all.
Yeah.
Only if the parents want it.
Yeah, that's
otherwise we are 5 days a week face-to-face.
Yeah,
and with the state, which Misty knows, with the way our state is at the moment, I keep thinking that that's not going to hold. So, I mean, I've done planning, but I haven't done planning, and it's bugging me because I'm about 3 weeks out from the start of school, and I don't really have things finalized, and I'm teaching ELA, which I haven't done in a decade, and the whole thing is stressful. And then there's a potential we may get a new math series before the start of school in 3 weeks.
But Julie, remember, you're going to be great.
I was about to say, if you do that, I can help you with third grade, but I forgot that y'all teach a different curriculum, right?
Yeah, we have journeys.
Yeah.
So I've been trying.
It's been, and we're going to get into all of the what everybody's heard from their districts and stuff, and we want to know from you in the chat as well. What are you hearing from your districts? Some interesting stuff here in Texas. Carlanda, where's California at? Well, first of all, let's ask you, how's your week been? Listen,
I've had a good week.
Listen, Carlanda's been doing Finish the Lyrics over on IG Lives.
That's my business. That has nothing to do with Facebook and YouTube. That has nothing to do with Facebook.
You were a guest on a podcast and IG show.
Yes.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Thank you.
And you shared it in your Instagram story, so it wasn't no secret.
It wasn't, but these people don't need to know about it. You asked me how my week was.
Yeah,
my week. It's been pretty productive. I've got a lot done, and yeah, I feel really productive as far as for me and things I need to get done. As far as the state of California, I don't know. Apparently, our governor is going to make an announcement tomorrow at noon. The rumor has it is he's going to say something to the effect schools should not open. So we'll see. And my district is going to announce at 2 that my district is going to announce at 2 if we're going to be face-to-face or at home.
At 2, at the district's going to announce it. Well, I know districts all over the country are starting to announce stuff. I actually watched a 2-hour school board meeting that somebody posted. A friend of mine posted, not even a school board that I mean, like one in Utah, but she happened to post it, and she was doing it on her personal Facebook page for all the teachers that, she's friends with from her district and stuff like that. But I literally watched it because I wanted to see what their thought process, what a school board's thought process was in talking about going back to school. And if you have not read through your states, most states, from what I'm understanding, have pretty much been given the same general guidelines as far as, the different having to choose one or the other. Most of them are saying you're going to choose, the parents are going to get to choose in person or online. They have to do it by a certain date, and they have to do it for the whole, some are doing it for a 9-week period. Right. Some are doing it for a semester period. And then there are some that are just going completely online. And and it's one of those things that I know it's stressful and it's crazy. I listened to this 2-hour board meeting though, and it was so interesting to hear their arguments for the different stuff and the things that they're talking about and the things that they're concerned about. And I'm going, these are not even the things that teachers are concerned about. So we tonight are going to be talking about what this is going to mean. And I kind of want to go over to the chat really quickly. Megan says you're all living in hot spots.
That's the
pretty
truth.
much.
That is the truth.
That is the truth, pretty much. Our district just finished their meeting and announced next year's plan. Is there a thank goodness emoji, right?
Oh, that's a good thing.
This okay, I'm going to share this one, and this one does surprise me because it's not the first time I've heard it. There's no decision yet in New York. I am flabbergasted by that because I would have thought they would have, with so many students in their districts, I would have thought they would have been up on. I mean, I would have thought they'd had something out by now. Oh, Chad's with us. Hey, Chad. Hey, Chad. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is we're going to be discussing engaging your students. The fact of the matter is I've said it all along. I said it back in the spring. I've continued to say it moving forward. I know that there are districts that are like, no, we are going back. We are going back face to face. I give it a month tops before you find yourself having to use distance learning again. And that's if you're not already going to be having to teach distance learning as well as in person. I know here in Texas, they have pushed school. Well, at least in Houston, they have pushed, which Houston's one of the largest districts. I'm sure the other districts will follow. They've pushed the start of school till September 8th, and the first 6 weeks of school will be online. And I said, I told y'all that was going to happen. So, having said that, we know that y'all are going to be teaching with distance learning eventually. It's just, you just prepare for it. Just be like, peace out, I'm going to do this. So we want to discuss tonight ways that you can engage your students through distance learning. And because you're not going to be able to do it. And I don't know, maybe ladies chime in if you have anything to add to this. You're not going to be able to do it the way you did it in the spring.
Oh, no, grades matter this time. It's not just once they found out oh, definitely. We have to show proof of these. Create rubrics. I mean, and
like for us, we just it was to prevent the slide, over those because initially it was only going to be a couple weeks and then it was going to be a couple more weeks. So, I mean, we weren't really going through and per se teaching new stuff, especially because for most of us, because of standardized testing, we had kind of really done the bigger bulk of our curriculum for the year. So, I mean, for most of us in our lower grades, we were just kind of practice. Let's teach new stuff.
Keep talking. I'm trying to figure out where that noise is coming from.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo.
Well, it's not an echo. It's like somebody's rubbing on their microphone, but it's not Carlanda. It's not Rochelle.
Mine's way over there.
I just have this. I don't have a.
It's Misty.
Misty, it's you.
I think it's rubbing on your.
Oh,
shirt.
On my necklace. Okay.
Yes.
I was going to say I've had the same thing, this same headset this whole time, but yeah, that's.
I was like, something is hitting a microphone or something. I was like, it's not Carlanda, it's not Rochelle. Sorry, Julie, I didn't mean to turn you off mid-sentence, but I was like, maybe it's her. I was like, it's not me. Mine's like away from me. So, but yeah, the thing about it is so many teachers last year, because it was like by the time we actually went to distance learning last year, like you said, pretty much everybody was in test prep mode and they were getting ready for state testing, and pretty much everything they needed to really teach had been taught. And so they didn't worry about grades. They didn't worry about attendance so much. And this time around, it's going to be different. So it's going to matter if their butts log on. It's going to matter if their butts in the seat, if they have to be so many minutes face to face. I know I was listening to a meeting a couple of weeks ago where they were talking about elementary was going to be required. They were doing distance learning, but elementary is going to be required to be learning at minimum. They have to be logged on, actually doing work, a minimum of like 100 and or 200 and 180 hours or 180 minutes a day. 180 minutes a day, which is 3 hours a day.
4 hours a day.
And
Ooh, that's a lot.
junior high and high school had to be logged on working 240 minutes a day. And I'm thinking, how are we going to do this? How are you going to, is this going to be teacher face to face? This district, listen, and I'll get into what some of the stuff this district was talking about that I just went, you've got to be kidding me. But let's first talk about how do you make sure that they show up? I mean,
well, our district, I mean, I know our district is providing, they're going to be a survey, and you type how many kids you have. Do you have a technology? If you don't, then you're going to be able to check some out. And then they're going to have hotspots. I hope I'm not saying this, like at different locations. It could be, I think, by a fire station. There's going to be a lot of hotspots in the parish where they're going to go and use the Wi-Fi. But to tell them, are they going to do it? I don't know. We don't.
What did your student? What did they do in your district, Carlanda, last year? Because you had kinder last year, so which will be different this year because you'll be third grade, which is a testing year. So,
You're right.
what's the plan?
Unfortunately, I don't work for Fresno Unified, so I don't know. Like, I don't work for the board. It's above my pay grade. I have no idea what the plan is. I thought we all weren't having testing anymore. Are we doing that?
Oh,
Our state hasn't said anything, but I don't know if maybe it won't count, but we still have to do it. I don't know. Jessica,
I thought it wasn't going to count or something.
Texas,
but
yes.
Last year, to me, I feel like we were held accountable for distance learning because there was like this thing, you know how you take roll on, we call it Atlas. I don't know what y'all call it out there, but like a system that you have to take roll on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they made us this thing where you had to give for the whole week, you had to rate the kids 1 through 5, 5 being if they did 2 or more assignments or came to Zoom or did whatever, they got a 5. If they did 1 assignment, they got a 4. If they just connected with you or something, you got a 2. But if they didn't do anything, they got like a 1. And then you also had to rate yourself. Like, are you doing Zooms? Are you putting up work online? Da, 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 da. And then it was another, if you had to do like a follow-up with a kid, you put a code. So we had to do that every Friday by 3:00. And for me, because of who I didn't want the data to look like I wasn't doing anything, right? So that was pressure on me. I made sure that I had it. Now, I heard through the grapevine, which was very disappointing, that several teachers didn't do anything. And I was like, what? I didn't know that was an option not to do anything because I have a union. And technically, I guess there was nothing in our CBA that said we had to teach online. So there's some teachers that whole time that did nothing, and got paid and did nothing. And I'm over here Zooming kindergartners. So it was really interesting.
Yeah, well, I know
it was very complicated. They gave us a graphic. The graphic, listen, I had to look at the graphic every single time to make sure I was doing it right. Like, okay, so this is okay, this is a 5, this is a, but yeah, I can't loop with my kids because someone said that, they said, unfortunately, I'm not looping. Yeah, I'm not looping with mine because I'm going to a whole different school.
Yeah.
So, which is a whole nother story. Like, how do you go to a new school? Well, I taught here before, so I know a few of my students because I knew them like when they were in kindergarten because I was at this school like years and years ago. But you're going to a new school and it's a pandemic and the kids won't get to come into your classroom. It's really stressful.
I saw, and let's talk about that. Let's talk about getting into our classrooms. I know by now, I mean, it's July 16th. By now, my classroom was already together.
Mine's up there.
Ready.
Not in shambles.
And I am seeing pictures of teachers that are going into their classroom, and so much of their stuff is still in boxes. I mean, I watched a stories on Instagram the other day. I don't even remember who the teacher was, but it was like a whole bunch of dashes across the top. But she was basically showing she went into work in her classroom, and all of her flexible seating was in boxes because they can't use the soft surfaces. Her rug was rolled up because that's a soft surface.
Yep.
She literally got sit spots on the floor because that eliminates surfaces that she has to clean.
We have to store a lot of our furniture. They said to try to just, so my kitties, my round table, I don't know if I really don't want to get rid of it.
Well, I'm just in shock because I'm like, where do they? And that was let's go to this school board meeting that I was in, and let's talk about some of the things they were talking about, because they were talking about, there was one of the school board members kept saying, are we going to follow the CDC's recommendation of 6 feet apart? And they kept him on around this. And I think this is and the reason I wanted to watch it, because I think this is what's going on in a lot of our school board meetings across the country. And it's like, we're not going to be able to, or we're going to do it as much as we can, or where it's feasible, that kind of stuff. And I wonder, have y'all been given that direction of 6 feet apart in your classroom, or not at all?
Yes, to try.
Well, we're still waiting to see if we're going to be in person or on the computer.
I already
So I
know.
don't know.
What do you think, Rochelle? What did see, Rochelle, I know their school was,
Y'all are online, right, Rochelle?
they were doing straight up. She was doing a lesson every single day.
Woo.
Oh, fourth quarter,
Tell them.
fourth quarter, my schedule is every single day because it was easier than trying to plan every other day. And I recorded them and sent out the link to kids that couldn't make it. So, but we had almost a 3.5 hour board meeting that we had on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Days blend together. But it said, because our governor came out saying that we can't go to in-person until August 17th is the day that he said that we could. So we have 2 districts that came out saying that they are not going to go to in-person learning until after October break. And our school didn't come out right and say that, but we have our phase plan. So, and we start online. And I'm sad because my roster went live today, and I flipping love my class.
Oh my gosh! So y'all already straight up virtual? I didn't even know that. You already got your rosters and everything.
Yeah, our principal told
I
us
got my roster.
in today's meeting. He told us that the rosters went live, and I actually signed on 5 minutes before he said that, and texted all of my teacher friends. And we totally zoned out of the meeting because we were like, who did you get? And
yeah, we all do that.
I love my class. I mean, I love all my classes.
That wasn't very, very good planning on his part for that staff meeting to give y'all that before he's trying to talk to y'all about some information.
That is true.
How many kids, Rochelle?
What?
How many kids?
20, but I know I'm not going to get 20. I'll probably get 12 to 15 because my school has a problem with, anybody else heard of Prenda? Because we're losing kids to Prenda.
What's Prenda?
Yeah, what is that?
It's like a homeschooling, but
A company.
parents or anybody for that matter, they can go ahead and sign up to be a Prenda guide.
Yeah.
And if they take up to 10 kids, they get paid. So you best believe that our stay-at-home parents are signing up for Prenda, and then they're taking in our community kids, and they're going to be withdrawing probably. I know for a fact that I have, I think, one in my class that I'm almost 100% sure that I'm not going to have them because I think that they're going to be going to Prenda. I have 4 or 5 other kids that I see them talking in our Facebook page, our family's Facebook page, which is a terrible idea. If your school has one, don't join it. And I see them talking. So
I want to know more about this Prenda. Did they pay teacher salary or what?
No,
Carlanda's like, I'll bring him into my home and teach.
Right.
no, it's like literally like a guide, and it's a homeschool program, and so you take all of like, it's like a K2 group, I think, and then there's like a 3, 4 or something like that group, and then it just like continues on. I don't know. I didn't research it because it's my competition right now. I'm about to like boom, boom. But
Oh.
they take the kids.
One more time. You're gonna do what, Rochelle?
She wants that one more time.
Oh, that was a little bit more fierce.
And I feel like I have such a good class this year. I already texted a parent. I was like, tell me that your girls are coming to school because like I have a set of twins and I love them to death. And I'm like, please tell me you're coming to school. And she's like, we'll be there. And I'm like, thank gosh, I'll at least have 2 kids.
And then y'all might meet later in this year, if it gets better. We just never know what the future holds. So you'll be able to teach them. Like
So you're going straight to school, Rochelle?
What?
You're going straight to school?
No,
Like face-to-face?
those 2 are going straight to school, the Louisiana ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I'm starting online until
In Texas, it's pretty much online. Most of the big districts are.
Yeah, and we'll get a 2-week notice when we phase into like phase 2, which is modified. So our classes will be split into 2 groups, an A group and a B group, and they will alternate days. So A will start Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then the other group will start on Tuesday and do Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And we're gonna try that.
Yeah, and then we go into phase 3, which I totally missed. It went right over my head because it was like 10 at that point, I feel like. And
Angie says, this is good to know. Angie says that they're going straight to school in Texas. And Angie, remind us where you're at because I know you're near my hometown. I know that it's the larger districts that are going online first. Like I know Houston, I think Dallas announced that and Shirai, if Shirai's here, Miss Shirai, congratulations. She's a new Dallas ISD teacher.
ID tag.
She's a new Dallas ISD teacher. She may be getting some stuff ready. But it is very confusing and it's going to be, and this is kind of what we're talking about is engaging those, when you think about having to teach in person and not be near your students. I know Misty posted a picture of it with the plexiglass dividers on the table. I posted a picture of the plexiglass dividers on the teacher table, bringing small groups over. How do you engage your students when you can't engage with them? I know that sounds, how do you engage them when you can't engage them? What are your thoughts around that? Anybody chime in? What are your thoughts around that? Somebody jump in.
I guess I can compare myself because I'm teaching coding camp and all we can do is just chat on there. And I guess it just depends on the kids, I have to say, but I've been throwing in some fun stuff, some quizzes and to keep them engaged. And they keep on coming back and, they pay for it and it's optional to come join. It's kind of like a Zoom, but it's called Blackboard Collaborate. So it's difficult. I don't know. I guess it depends on the students. Our group is just enjoying what they do. They have like 13 of us. So they're all up in that chat. They can't see each other, but.
Well, Angie's a 1A school. Yes, 1A. She's 1A school. I'm sorry. Somebody asked about that. Kim says, what's 1A? So like your 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A school, that's your
football. That's what I think.
Your ranking, and it's basically because of your sports and your student population. Lorraine, you're in Lorraine now. So I know that Rochelle did quite a few activities this past year. We talked about like the scavenger hunts and the things like that she did to keep her students engaged. Carlanda, did you do anything special with your students to keep them engaged?
I did the same. Scavenger hunts, virtual field trips.
Are you going to be using your PBS stuff in your classroom this year?
I could, but I'm pretty sure they probably all will probably have seen it if because it's playing all summer,
right?
But when I need to teach that particular text, I probably just play it and go to the bathroom. I'm just kidding.
I can't with you. I can't with you. You're like, yeah, I'll just go hang out in the bathroom. Well,
Right.
I mean, because the thing about it is we are going to have to figure out how to engage because we are going. And I keep saying we. I know that. I mean,
Right.
I teach online but I only have one student at a time. But you're going to have to figure out how to engage your students through a screen much more than you had to last year, is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Because
I'm thinking it's really important to know what your district expects from you. Because, like, for example, some people's district might require them to do videos of them actually recording themselves and uploading them. Some districts I'm seeing is requiring teachers to meet one-on-one with every kid or 2 to 3 kids. It all depends on what your district wants you to do. And that's why for me, I feel like I can't really worry about that until I know for sure what the ramifications are, like what my district wants. Because even during the quarantine teaching, I wasn't required to record myself and post videos. But there were some teachers that I knew that were required to log into their computer at 8 a.m. and they had to sit there until 3 p.m. and like their district checked it and all of this, and their admin would pop in on the Zooms and doing all this like crazy stuff. My district didn't do any of that. So I feel like it all depends on, you know, what you do. And I mean, if you learn anything for what I just said, it's get a union. I feel so bad for the teachers that don't have unions. You know, it just seems like
well, they're illegal in Texas.
yeah, girl, you see, I'm back in California. Y'all do too much in Texas. Too much. Too much. And so I know a lot of, for example, I live in Fresno, California. Clovis Unified does not have a union. They're going back to school face to face as of now. They just announced it last night. I live like 10 minutes from Clovis. You know, like I live close to it. So it's just interesting if you have a union or not. It's really that's really what the fate is of what your next school year is. How powerful your district's union and the board, like how they interact with each other, is really going to determine what it is. My union don't play that.
Well, I haven't been. I mean, I obviously when I was, as a teacher, we don't have teachers unions here in Texas, but prior to becoming a teacher, I was part of the communications whatever you want to call that, because I worked for AT&T, and we do have the Communication Workers of America is the union for AT&T, and my grandmother was the president of the union for 8 years, so I grew up with that, and so I know the power of unions that unions can have and especially on behalf of their teachers. And I think it's very interesting. I would be interested to know, those of you that are in the chat, does your school have a union? And are they representing you well to make sure that you go back with what you need? I posted an image on Instagram that got quite a few. I got quite a few DMs. Let me just put it this way: some people slid into my DMs over.
What did you put?
I posted an image that said, "Only in America do we ask teachers to take a bullet and buy their own bulletproof vest." And
yeah, I saw that.
there were quite a few people that slid into my DMs wanting to know who's having to wear a bulletproof vest to school. And I was like, "Whoa, y'all so did not get the metaphor and the analogy there." Right. Wow. But the point being is, how many of you are having to purchase your own PPE?
I don't know. I bought some, but
my mom made some masks for me.
What'd you say, Julie?
I said my mom made some masks for me.
Oh, the school's providing 2 shields. But already bought 2 shields and a face thing. I bought all kind of stuff. But yeah, they're gonna buy 2 of them and 2 for each kid.
Miss, you bought all the masks. You bought out the internet. Like that's what happened. Every day last week, it's like you screenshot another mask that you bought. I need you to tell me about these masks.
Yeah,
like, I'm curious.
I got one of them in. I got the one of the shields in. I've given them some options that I can't do the mask right on my nose. So I was like, I'm gonna give you so many options. Like the one that goes up. I haven't got that one yet from the chin up, but I have the other one. You like to put on glasses, and then I have a mask that you can have the like we talked about how important it is to see the mouth. So the one with the like clear part on the mouth part, but it's a mask. I bought that one too. That one's coming in. So
Tell me what you think.
okay.
Well, I thought it was very, very interesting, and I'm interested to know what other teachers are having to deal with, and then I do want to talk about the equity in access. With regard to PPE that's being provided, are you seeing where I noticed in this school board meeting that I was watching that they were ordering different types of PPE, and only certain teachers were getting face shields? Like,
Oh, really?
like you couldn't just go in and say, I want a face shield, not a
Really?
mask. Like there had to be, like if teachers that were working with special education students who were in situations where they might have fluids that, and I'm thinking, if I go into there and tell you that this is what I want, then
Right.
this is what I should get. I mean, am I the only one
It's
that
very
thinks that?
scary. It's very scary because it's like, this is our livelihood, right? We feel like this is what we're called to do. But I feel like teachers are often have to choose. They make us feel like if you don't want to risk your life and go to school and teach, then you're a bad teacher. How dare you not want to go see your children on the first day of school? I want to live. Like, I want to have my own children one day. And if I go and get sick and pass away, then I won't be able to fulfill my destiny of having kids and a family. But they don't think that. We're just supposed to risk it all, you know.
Y'all heard about this? Has your district contacted you about this?
No.
Riding wheels. Yeah.
I
Well,
have
no, not
heard
my
about
district, but I heard about teachers riding wheels. Everybody's riding their wheels and stuff.
Did you
Stop.
see did you see
Farrah,
the
I'm gonna leave
image?
you my student loans, okay, in my will. I'm gonna
And
leave it
that's
to you.
it.
Did you see
That's all I got.
Did you see the image that has been going across? A teacher posted when she got her in-service documents or whatever, that one of the day, I guess like couple of days during in-service, they actually have HR. They're going to have time for them to go over and get wills and power of attorneys done for them. And they've never had this done for them during in-service, but they're actually providing that service. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm not saying it's not good to have it anyway, because, I rolled my vehicle going to school one morning. So, you should have this stuff in place. But for them to think that it's important now, we need to make sure that we got teachers. I guess the other thing that I want to know is, those of you that are going back to the classroom, have they told you how it's going to work if you get sick?
Yes, there's going to be. Is it the CARES Act, Julie? I know we were talking about 2 weeks we'll get paid, and then after that we have to kind of use our 6 or 90-day.
The only thing that I had heard was that if we potentially had a child, or if we ourselves were, positive at some point, that the class and the teacher would be home quarantined for 2 weeks. So we would have to go virtual for 2 weeks, which, like, some of my coworkers and I were kind of talking, well, what about the siblings of the kid that is in the same room?
Yeah, that's crazy. So we're not doing
they
that.
also, and their classes and their teachers.
Yeah.
But I mean, we other than us going back face to face, we really haven't been told a whole lot. But I've heard of instances where they said if one child in the school, or one person, period, in the school building had a positive case, the entire building was quarantined for 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness. So you're going to keep on doing that, though? You'll never
I've
get
heard that.
Well, and here's my question though. What other profession do you know of that if you get injured on the job, in the line of duty, in respects to doing your job, that you do not, that's kind of stuff falls under workman's comp?
Right.
I mean, how is it, and I'm just going to use this as an example, how is it that I, walking my students out to dismissal, can fall down a flight of 15 stairs and get workman's comp, but you go into your classroom and get sick because a student brings in COVID or you're not following, you know what I'm saying? And that doesn't fall under workman's comp. I'm hearing about teachers having to use their sick days. And I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, you've been injured in the line of duty. If you get this is different than you decided to go party and you got food poisoning, or you got, or you were hanging out, you got the flu, or you got a cold or whatever. This is something that we know. And especially if you as a teacher are being, would prefer to teach online, I'm baffled by that. What are the unions saying about that? I'm baffled by that. Nobody.
Well, I just know we're going to get a sub if you're talking about, but I think just like the first time, we're going to get paid 2 weeks. And then after that, you use sick day. Then after that, you have this other so many days, and you get 60% of your pay. It's kind of what they told us.
This is that's your long-term disability, your short-term and long-term disability that and there are a lot of teachers that don't get that automatically. Now this one says our board members had their board meeting. I love it, Rochelle. Sorry. Our board members had their board meeting virtually. I cannot believe how many parents want to send their children to school. It will only take one student or staff member to get sick and they will sue the district. Some of the parents during the meeting were saying how easy it is, teacher. Listen, I have my opinions about these parents that are like, send my kid to school. But let me just say this. I don't think that I think you're right. It's the minute a kid gets sick,
Mm-hmm. It's over.
We live in a litigious society, and the minute a kid gets sick, it's gonna be the district's fault. And I listened during the school board meeting. I listened to what they were talking about. They were talking about every teacher. They're basically every student is going to have their own towel, microfiber towel. The teacher will have a bottle of whatever the bleach. Antiseptic spray. They are going to be in their desk, and anytime they leave their desk or anytime they come back to their desk, they have to clean their own desk. And I'm like,
Whoa.
The way they were talking about the cleaning that's going to have to be going on and the hand washing. When are you going to instruct your students? When are you going to have any instructional time?
Yeah,
and so,
I've heard like every 2 hours. They're supposed to literally physically leave the classroom and go wash their hands if there's no sink in the bathroom every 2 hours.
When are you going to? It just blows my mind. And when you talk about that, when especially it makes me. Kim says, how does that work in high school or middle school? That is a good point. Because them high school and middle schoolers are going to be like, I'm not cleaning no desk. I'm not.
Right.
They won't even pick their dirty underwear up off their bedroom floor, let alone, come on.
Right.
It'll be
We have a hand sanitizing machine they're putting in everybody's classrooms, and we have to check everybody's kid's temperature. They're giving everybody one.
Well, that was the other thing they were talking about. They were talking about giving every other teacher a thermometer. So how many days do you think that's going to be until that doesn't work?
Oh, no. For hours, they
Till it
said
breaks.
that the temperatures will be taken before they step foot in the doors.
Yeah, well, we have to do it twice. I also have to do it as soon as they enter.
And if they have it, they're put off. They have to be pushed. I say pushed. They have to be put in isolation somewhere for a certain amount of time, and then they'll take it again. And if they're at a certain temperature, then somebody's got to come get them.
Well, and
then because there's Tylenol.
Oh,
There's
well.
Just like they
Take your temperature all you want, because I gave my kid Tylenol, and they're going to be set to go.
4 hours. They're all right.
Well, listen, I the other thing that they talked about was that there was going to be hand sanitizer, and basically I cracked up at this. Said, well, there will be a system in place. Every principal needs to have a system in place so that when a teacher runs out of sanitizer, they can go turn in their bottle and get a new bottle. Anybody else work for a school where that right there?
That's not going to happen.
It is not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
Because I'm like, when exactly do you want me to teach? And that's the whole point of engaging, trying to figure out how you're going to engage your students in this situation. I think it's going to be interesting. It's obviously going to be interesting, but I think it's going to be a huge hurdle for teachers to overcome this year trying to keep their students engaged when you can't, it's going to be, and I think that we're all going to be in distance learning. Everybody's going to be distance learning before it's all over with. So on the next piece of this, how are your districts ensuring that your students have access, that there's equity in the teaching that's going on?
Well, my district is giving out hotspots with tablets, and there's a bus that drives around for Wi-Fi. Well, a couple buses. So that's
so
all
all of your students last year were able to log on, Carlanda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Listen, right there.
They gave out like 70,000 tablets or so. Like they gave out a lot of tablets.
Oh my goodness! I don't know.
This is what I'm gonna say. Everybody needs to go to their school and say, if Fresno can do it, then we can do it. That's ridiculous.
Well, we've been told that our, I think, 3rd through 12th grade is via the CARES Act going to be 1-to-1. But if these families don't have internet connections in some kind of way at home, then they basically have a dead device.
They're supposed to purchase,
and our school cannot afford to put out hotspots. And I know for a fact our public school system won't do it. So, I mean, I'm still kind of the opinion of what good is it to hand out, 100, 125 Chromebooks, laptops, iPads, whatever, if they won't be able to do these face-to-face Zoom calls, Teams, whatever we use at home because they have no Wi-Fi.
And then what if they break? I was just thinking about that.
What good is that going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a device. Great. We can't do anything.
Y'all don't have Wi-Fi. Yeah.
And I know somebody said something about like the kids eating in the classrooms, eating in the cafeteria. Well, let me give you my little fun tidbit. From the gist that I have gotten, our kids will not eat in the classrooms because we have such small numbers in our school that they can arrange it where we may only have like 2 classes in the cafeteria at a time and spread the kids out 6 feet apart. That's the only time that I will actually leave my classroom because I apparently will have to do my own PE. I will have to do my own recess, and I will have to go to lunch with my kids. At this point in time, I have no planning period. I have no break, nothing. I will be with my kids from 7:45 in the morning until 2:45 in the afternoon with absolutely no planning time, no time to meet with parents. If I have to have parent conferences, I will not be able to make copies. I will not be able to grade papers. I won't even have to go to the freaking bathroom.
What about your enrichment teachers?
We don't have that.
All?
We don't
wait a minute. You got to go to the bathroom to begin with in a normal year? What? What is this?
Yeah, because I would do it when my kids were at recess with the other teacher. Since we were departmentalized, only one of us went out on duty at a time. One of us would take recess. One of us would take lunch duty. And then we had a PE teacher that would come and get the kids. That was the time where she and I could actually coordinate together because we were departmentalized. But with this whole COVID situation and them pushing us to go self-contained instead, and apparently we don't have a PE teacher this year because she's going to actually have a full schedule to teach. So it's like, when am I supposed to do this?
Where's your extra money?
I think it's a given that if you're going back face to face, there are a lot of things that are not going to look like they do in a normal year.
I have things to take care of occasionally, and
well, there are a lot of things that as teachers we're going to have to make sacrifices in order to be able to teach in this situation. But there are some things that I just think shouldn't have to be sacrificed. And I don't know what that's going to look like. Kim says our union contract gives us 45 minutes of duty-free lunch. Yeah, and Kim, let's put this into perspective. Julie, you teach at a private school, correct?
Yes.
So I taught for 10 years at a charter school, and I was with my students for all but 30 minutes from 7:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon, and I got a 30-minute lunch break. That's all I got. So I did my own recess. So I get it. Ate lunch with the kids, all of that. So And so it is doable. It's not, in fact, I tell you, when I went to a regular public school, I was like, what do you mean I get 45 minutes to plan? What do you mean I get to eat by myself?
Well, I don't have a plan. I've never had a planning period ever in my career ever.
Yeah, it varies from state to state, and it's varying. So there are going to be some things that we have to just say, you know what, this is what we're going to be doing some extra work. But I think that we need to have the respect that comes with that on what's going to be expected from us. And I think that that's one of the big things that keeps coming up, that I'm seeing a lot in social media posts, is people need to get back to work. People need to get back. Listen, I'm not a babysitter. Carlanda, Misty, Julie, Rochelle, none of us are babysitters. We are educators. And, Kevin and I had a very good discussion the other day that let's concede, when you can have your opinion about whether or not you believe an education is a right in this country, whether or not it's an actual right or a privilege. But let's concede that our society has the societal norm is that a public education is your right to get a public education. Nowhere in that does it say that it is your right to have the public education and that free education the way it's the most convenient for you. And I think that is the problem, is we're looking at this from the perspective of, I think that if we are going to provide this education, then we do need to make sure that all of our students have access. Just like Carlanda was saying, her school is giving out hotspots. They're making sure buses are. Guess what? You know what? You better figure out where that money's going to come from. And I think districts who have, I don't think it's where I'm seeing that being a problem is schools like private schools and charter schools that don't have that federal funding. But guess what? You know what? It sucks to be a private school or charter school, but it is something that if you have chosen to give an education to these students, those parents, listen, I get it, because I've taught in private schools too. And those parents are paying for their students to go there. Listen, you chose for your student not to go to a public school where all of this is going to happen. I'm just saying we have an obligation. And when I say we, I'm not talking about teachers. I'm talking about our school system has an obligation to make sure that our kids have what they need in order to learn, however that's going to look. But never does it say, oh, you want your kid to go to school, you want your kid to learn online, we're going to do it exactly. So I have a problem with them giving parents a choice. It's like, make a decision, and that's the way your education is happening.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rochelle.
Ours had choice in person or online.
Yeah,
They were given the choice. And our public school was given that choice too. They could either do online or in person, but we're doing ours by 9 weeks at a time. Our public school system, it's for the entire semester. So they won't, whichever choice they make, they won't be able to get out of it until December.
Yeah, they have each semester they have 2 week. That's what you said, 2 week period. So you're kind of similar to us, right?
Yeah, because I mean, for my school, it's by the 9 weeks. So after the first 9 weeks, if they want to come back in person, they can. But our public school, they're doing it from August through December.
Yes,
one or the other.
Make a 2 week trial, and then if they decide to change, they have to have change between those 2 weeks. And not until December.
Yeah, I mean, most schools that I've heard that have given their parents a choice are making them doing it for a certain period of time, so that when they switch back and forth. But like I said, I mean, make a decision, make a freaking decision, and that's the way it's going to happen. And because expecting teachers to teach in person and online and be responsible for both, that is a lot. That is a lot to handle. And I'm not saying that we're not rock stars and that we can't handle it, but it is a lot to have to handle. And so I just think they need to make a decision. They just need to make a decision. And the more I hear about districts given devices to their students and making sure their kids have access to Wi-Fi and all of that, You know, as a parent, it sucks if you don't have school for your free daycare. I'm sorry, but we're not babysitters.
Well, for 100% virtual, it's not us that are teaching them. So parents weren't understanding that it's another group of teachers.
Yeah, see, that's the way ours is too.
Location, right?
Yeah.
They are going to be the teachers. It's not going to be us. Now, if we all leave and go virtual, the whole school, then
Right,
we'll be
yeah.
responsible for our own class. But if you're 100% virtual, it's not your child's school's teachers.
Yeah, that's kind of how they did ours.
Yeah.
is that
Okay. Good.
we as the classroom teachers will only have to deal with the kids that we have face to face.
Yeah.
And there'll be another teacher acting as a facilitator. Now, it will be somebody on campus from the gist that I've gotten, but I won't have to do both virtual lessons for the third graders that are not coming to school and in-class lesson for the third graders that are there.
Now we do if they are quarantined, if they've already with us. Like I'm in charge
Yeah,
of
if
my
you're quarantined, I
grade
have to virtually teach.
Yeah, but I'm already recording lessons right now. I got to start now before. I am not sure. I was thinking. I'm not
I'm
sure.
going back through the chat and
Yeah,
what everybody was saying.
Yeah, I mean, usually we have, for the most part, a guaranteed PE. Now, granted, our PE is only like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I think it's 25. Our recess was 20. We did our own duty for that, but because we were, two classes out at the same time, we would share, and the same thing with lunch. So that instead of us going with our kids to lunch and going with our kids to recess, we did get those little shorter 20-minute breaks, but we were both guaranteed off at PE, which apparently we won't have this year. So I don't know how I'm supposed to meet with people if I have to.
Sorry, Julie.
No, you're good.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes, girl. I am all for it. I am all for it. Quite frankly, if you are a teacher that is going and listen, I'm very honest, but I don't have to worry about it. Thank God. Thank God. Because I would totally be sitting making a decision. I would be like, I don't know about this. But yes, those of you going back in the classroom, you deserve hazard pay. Absolutely. And quite frankly, if you get sick and it can be shown that you got sick because now, and I realize if you come down with COVID because you went to the grocery store, well, that's one thing. But if you end up sick and test positive after being exposed to someone who is positive known in your classroom, that's you were injured on the job. As far as I'm concerned, that's the way it should be handled. I mean, and I just cannot believe I listened to some of the stuff that they talked about at this board meeting, and I just kept thinking, wow, that they're just, and I realize that it's uncharted territory and nobody knows and everybody's, it's just really disheartening to hear how they're so adamant about getting these kids back in school. And I agree that our kids need to go back to, I agree that there are a lot of things that school provides for students that they wouldn't normally have when the school building's not open. I 100% get that. But at the same time, I think we need to protect our teachers and we need to protect our students, all the way around. So any last thoughts, Miss Carlanda? We'll just go around the thing. Any last thoughts as we wrap it up?
No.
I know you have a lot of thoughts.
Not on this. I mean, like I said, I can't. What you realize is I'm trying to focus on what I have control over. So I don't have control over this decision that's being made tomorrow. So I'm just trying to live a healthy mindset and just wait and see what they say. And then so probably next week I'll have some things to say because I'll know on this subject, I'll know if I'm going to be in the classroom, online, if I'm finding another job. And I'm just kidding. I'm gonna do either.
But that is a lot to say because you're holding on to what you can control.
Yeah, that's all. That's it. I tell people, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I always talk about focusing on the things that you can control. I cannot control if people have internet at their house. I cannot control if they have a device at their house. I can only control the things, my actions, and I know I'm going to give my students a magical experience online or in the classroom. I'm going to do my part. And so that's all I got to say about that.
Well, I think it's important though that we all have that mindset too of do be the amazing teacher. Chad said it up there. Just record yourself, and he'll make sure the students get the video.
Chad just has to come work.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. We're not obligated to record ourselves. I think there's like something in our contract where we don't have to record ourselves because it's like protecting our privacy or protecting something. So it's like we don't necessarily have to record because you have to think about it. We don't ask doctors to record them while they're doing operations and sending it to family or whatever, like, so I guess it's kind of weird to ask a teacher to record themselves in their house. I mean, I'll do it. I don't mind. But there's people that were just like, I'm not doing it. And but that's because it's scared to record themselves because you could be, what if you slip up and you have something wrong in your background or anything? You just
there's lots of absolutely. But giving your students that magical experience is you're going to do that regardless.
Oh yeah, of course. I spend all day making this Bitmoji classroom.
Yeah,
so I'm definitely gonna make sure they look at that.
All right. What about you, Misty? Any final thoughts?
Y'all might disagree with me, but I'm ready to get back to school. So I'm not saying that
I disagree with you. I think all of I think everybody's
ready for real life, and I need to get out of this house, and I need to be with my kids, physically see them. I know it's not going to be the same, but I need to interact with them, and it might not happen a long period of time, but for my well-being, I need to get back in routine in school.
I think there are a lot of teachers that I think most teachers are ready to be back in the classroom and want to be with kids. I don't think any teacher wants to be away from their students.
Right. But some people are scared. And I had somebody in my household, not saying that I might get it, but I had somebody in my household that was positive. But I'm going to protect myself so no one else at school. But I don't know. I'm just like ready.
I understand. What about you, Julie? Any last thoughts?
I'm ready for 2020 to go away.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Hindsight's 2020. Well, I'm ready to get rid of 2020.
Yeah.
I've had about my fill.
You and me both. You and me both. What about you, Rochelle? Any last thoughts? Look at her. She's like.
No, Rochelle, you have to say something.
Shut up, Carlanda.
Right? I said I didn't have anything to say. Oh, I'm sure you have something to say, Carlanda.
I'm sure you do.
I'm sure you have something to say.
No,
y'all wait. My phone gonna blow up. Carlanda gonna come at me.
Right. I said I didn't have nothing to say. I didn't have nothing to say.
No, Rochelle, I'm sure you have something to say.
I miss my kids. I'm over 2020. Like, somebody needs to wake 2020 or 2021 up and be like, get in the game. Like, we're ready for your year 6 months early. Like, wake up. Like, my favorite meme, I think, so far is whoever is playing the freaking game of Jumanji needs to call it already.
Right.
Look at Angie Rose.
Young Jumanji when the ball drops.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Because this game needs to stop. This year needs to stop.
It does.
I need to see my kids. I need to see my family. I need to be out of my house.
Yes.
Me punching.
I love being at my house. I don't know.
I'm done.
I just love it here.
Where's your favorite place?
My bed. Like,
if my house,
I just love it here.
We'd be speaking a different story right now. I'll be like, I guess I'm just gonna have to live at Disneyland.
Disneyland. Oh my goodness. Well, all of our viewers tonight, thank you so much for joining us. We know that you're stressed. We know, hopefully we give you a little bit of entertainment too, once a week to laugh and giggle. And like I'm gonna agree with everybody. Teachers are ready to get back to their classrooms, but Carlanda, I really think you said it best when you said control. Worry about what you can control.
Yes. Like you're like, what do you have to think? What do you think? I'm like, girl, I'm trying not to pass out. I am trying not to stress. I want to eat and be healthy. And you're like, yeah, I know you got something to say. What do you think? What do you think?
Don't be
What's your
stepping.
governor say?
Don't be
What does
stepping
your
on the moderator.
superintendent say?
Don't be stepping on the moderator. Don't be stepping. Don't be stepping on the moderator. All right. All of you guys, you know what? Like Carlanda said, control, worry about what you can control. Take one day at a time. We're going to be stalking her tomorrow to find out what her school district decided to do.
Right. Well, it'll be live. It's I believe it's at 1:00 press conference.
1:00 press conference. If you are going back full face to face like Misty and Julie are, know that our thoughts are with you. I give it a month. I'm calling it now.
I don't even think it's gonna take that long.
I'll take that month, though. I will take that month.
I understand. I totally get it. I understand. And Julie's like, I don't think it'll take a month.
Positive thinking.
Positive thinking. But regardless, do what you can. Keep a positive attitude.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncharted. Nobody has been down this road ever. So everybody's in this together. And we will catch you next week at same Blab channel, same Blab time. And y'all keep being educational rock stars. Bye, guys.